night in very little time. So the main topic of the night is regarding Piers Morgan and Joy Reid. That went pretty viral today. I mean, honestly, I'm sick of Epstein. We've done enough of Epstein. Let's move on. And so Joy Reid and Piers Morgan, we're gonna talk about that. So pretty much, she went on his show. He claimed she crashed out. Here we go. This is the main topic of it. Let's watch this.
That's Idi Amin behavior. There's a black fascist that you can compare him to.
Okay, let's move on to. I want to just play a clip of when you lost your job at MSNBC. Let's watch this.
My show had value, and that I'm sorry. That that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And you know, I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Now, look, you're perfectly entitled to be proud of your show. Many people enjoyed your show for many years. You know, a lot of people at NBC were briefing that the reason was declining ratings post the election, a 47% decrease in your election, in ratings from pre-election. But you told Mark Lamont Hill on his show this.
After I said on my show that the reason Americans could relate to Ukrainians in a way that they didn't relate to Palestinians, that Ukrainians are white. And so watching white people get their schools bombed was, you know, hit different. That hit our ratings. I mean, it definitely, we could see the loss of white viewers from that moment that I said that. So they were like, we don't like the name calling. And also I'm a black woman. So, I mean, I'm sure it makes him angrier, you know, when I say things. Maybe because I am a global South person myself, you know, I mean, as a black person, we have a different empathy toward other global South people when they are suffering. And so we're going to come at that story from a different angle and in a different way and with different kinds of empathies. And I think that's not always received very well in the news business.
Now, Joy, I mean, look, let's be honest. I don't think you were fired after all those years because of your skin color or because you're a black woman. I think you were fired because your show just got increasingly unpopular. It happens all the time in TV. That's why you got let go. Why play the race card?
First of all, I love the fact that your play the race card is your version of the race card. You literally are so fixated on trying to racialize conversations with me, Piers, that I find it actually quite charming.
You racialize more conversations in your tenure at MSNBC than any host in history.
All right, Mark. All right, Piers. And the bottom line is you take an entire conversation that I had with Mark Lamont Hill and pick the bits that you can racialize because this is your shtick. And I get that this is your shtick.
You racialize everything, Joy. Come on.
I get it. I understand this is your shtick, Piers. And listen, game recognizes game. I get this is your game.
It's not my shtick.
And the bottom line,
it was your shtick.
It is your shtick, and everyone knows that it is.
Stick.
Piers, we
people
understand
got bored
what
with
it is. And it is so interesting to me that you yourself, as a white European, find that when people of color talk about race, that you believe is racializing conversations. But when people like you fixate on, well, Barack Obama was a black president, why don't you object to that? That is racializing a conversation about the former president of the United States. But you can't put your, and I'm sure you find that charming and funny.
I find it hilarious because you're the one. You're the one who said Donald Trump.
You and your friend Donald Trump.
You said Donald Trump is a white fascist.
Are so he is a well. I agree
and
with
yet
Mark
when Obama
Milley,
did the same thing,
last time I checked, is
I'm not allowed
black.
to mention his skin color.
I agree with his former chief of staff, who last I checked was not black and said he's fascist. And Mark Milley said he's fascist to the core. Okay. So I happen to agree, and I know this is what it's important to you, with two very.
Oh man. Kamal, I never heard of that term that she said south of the border. What was she saying? Something about south? Have you heard that term?
No, I ain't never heard that term before, to be honest.
I can answer that. I think she said global south, and what that's just referring. Yeah, global south is just going to be kind of like countries that I'll say like I'll say like northern countries tend to not really notice a whole lot what's going on in global south countries. So like what's going on in like Israel Palestine, this is what's considered global south. Because when we look at like what's happening in global south, everyone can point to Israel Palestine, and like, do we know about like there's like a, am I allowed to say like the word genocide? I don't know if there's any bad words. Like there's some really bad
Yeah,
stuff.
hold on, Max.
Yeah, there's like I believe there's some kind of
Hold on.
genocide going on in
I think it's
what is that
Max.
sound?
I think it's Max. Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's Max.
Transformers was
Max, your
coming.
sound is weird. Can you like come out and leave and come back? Sorry, I had to remove you. I'm gonna kick you and have you come back. Okay. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, no, but there's a lot of conflicts
Yeah, you
going
can say
on.
that word. Actually, surprisingly, we made a clip of that word, Ethan, and it went. I got 10,000 views this week. I was surprised.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
they're not suppressing that word anymore. Isn't that interesting,
Love to see
Ethan?
it.
It
Love to
only
see
took
it.
20,000 dead kids, right?
Yeah, only took that. But anyway, what happens in like the global south, people tend to not really pay much attention to that as we do in the global north. So everyone knows about what's going on with the Russia-Ukraine stuff, but people don't know about things like the I think it's like the Sudan civil war, for example. Most people probably have no idea about that. But it's just like the geographical location and where people tend to care about things or not.
Oh, okay.
So, Ethan, would you consider Joy Reid a black woman?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay, according to some FBA, she's not a black woman, so they're she offended when she says these things.
Jesus Christ.
As a mixed person, I get called white all the time, and I get called
Who are you
black.
mixed with?
Black and white. My mom is black, and my dad is white.
Where's your dad from?
Holy shit.
He is. I mean, he's American, but like I think it's like either Irish or Scottish descent.
So you're FBA. You know
I
what that
guess.
is?
What does FBI stand for? FBA.
Come on, we have the
Oh
resident
boy,
FBA
here we
on the line.
go.
Come
Oh
on,
Come on,
Mike.
let's
Let's
get
do
the
the
Craig
initiation.
education.
getting stressed out already.
We gotta get the education today, man. Ethan, you black. You gotta know these terms because I consider you black.
I
You
said
black.
I'm. Oh,
Let's
you
go.
can see what I mean? Yeah, I always say I'm not black. I'm mixed. I'm biracial or whatever.
That's fine.
But
I consider you
yeah,
black though. Let's go.
I got you. What is it?
So FBA is Foundational Black Americans. Is basically the black people of like my lineage that when this country was born in this sense, we was the ones that built it. You know what I mean? They say that we came here from 1619, but it was also black native tribes that was here that like kind of intermingled with us, also with the fucking slave owners, which we had an ethnogenesis and we became foundational Black Americans. I know you say your dad is black or your mom is black.
My mom is black.
Okay.
Oh, mom, I'm sorry.
Okay. And do you know like I guess her lineage, is she like from Caribbean? She from Africa, or it's like
Sub-Saharan Africa with also Native American somewhere in there. I don't know where, but Sub-Saharan Africa and Native American.
Okay. Yeah. So you just have to
So is she a
figure out more
descendant of slaves?
yeah,
Yes.
you got to find out if your mom was like a descendant
Okay.
of American slavery and shit like that. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's what
She is.
FBA means. Basically, it's the foundational descendants of slaves in this country.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
Kamal doesn't think this what I'm about to say, but there are some FBAs. Let me clarify. I'm not putting Kamal in this box.
Oh,
There are some that,
word.
that will say that Joy Reid is not black because I think she's Caribbean. Where's her people from? She said she was an immigrant today. Her family was immigrant, but that she's not black.
Caribbean islands.
So, anyways, I just wanted to ask you that, Ethan, get your opinion.
Yeah.
Gray, why did Joy Reid get fired?
The reason Piers Morgan said the show got boring. People on the internet are more entertaining. Fox News is definitely way more entertaining. So, hey, why would you watch Joy Reid when you can go over there with Jesse Waters and them and have a good time?
So, were you a fan of her show, Gray? I mean, Ethan, did you watch her show? I got to ask the two Democrats on the line. Did y'all watch her show?
I didn't watch her personally. MSNBC is extremely. I mean, I'm a liberal, but I also recognize bias when I see it, and I don't want to live my own biases, right? And she wasn't for me. No. Well, none of MSNBC was for me. To be fair.
Okay. All right, I rock with you, Ethan. There was something about you I liked. Come on, why'd she get fired?
Because she kept Democratic chilling. That shit ain't working. That shit a failure. Yeah, her ratings went down. Yeah, failure. You coming over here talking about everything except she don't even talk about her own lineage, helping out her Black Caribbean people in America. All she talk about is LGBTQ plus IATZ and goddamn immigrants. That's all she talk about all day. Hey, what policies y'all got as Democrats? Well, Trump is bad as hell. He orange, got a toupee, and the LGBTQI plus, they real good people. It's like, okay, but what policies you gonna do to help out Americans, or what policies you got that's gonna help out Black folks in America? Well, the immigrants, they going through some shit right now. It's like, Joy Reid, the stick is up. You feel me? And let me be clear too. I don't fuck with Piers Morgan either. I know what his British ass is doing. The hell, he a grifter. I can't stand these motherfuckers that always try to get in American politics and get paid from it. And they be from goddamn other countries. I be noticing that. I'm like, oh, so you gonna play the little referee while you get all the dough and we talk about American politics? No, let's talk about what's going on in your country, bro. He starts speaking more of that, I won't think Piers Morgan a grifter. But on Joy Reid case, ratings is low when you spitting failure. That's what's gonna happen.
Facts. Mia, why'd she get fired?
She got fired because she lived in an echo chamber, and people get sick and tired of hearing the same thing over and over and over again. Donald Trump bad. He has a bad toupee. He's orange. He's rich. Ice sucks. I mean, you can only say the same thing over and over and over again before nobody wants to hear it. And the problem is she wasn't really talking about actual problems that resonated with Americans. Why an average 27-year-old can't afford food. Why 85% of Americans can't afford a $500 incident to happen without them going in debt. We have hit the highest level of debt ever. Like, she didn't talk about anything else besides Donald Trump is bad. And that's why, and to be honest, it's nobody wants to hear it anymore. Literally nobody wants to hear it. And also it's the rise of conservatism as well in this country, and people just don't really want to hear it. And that's what.
Enzo, were you a fan of Joy Reid?
No, never really was. Like Mia said, it's just an echo chamber. They only have 3 talking points: Trump bad, Trump orange, Trump fascist. That's all it is at the end of the day. I mean, Piers Morgan's the same thing, but Piers Morgan actually brings some excitement to it. I love like when he brings people on, and it's literally just crash out central. That's what Piers Morgan is. Like, I watched the one where he brought fucking Harry up there multiple times. Harry just crashes out the entire time with Tyrus, and it's comedy. Like, at least they're bringing some entertainment value. When you're watching Joy Reid, it's just like, oh, cool, she's gonna talk about Donald Trump being orange again. Okay, cool. Can we like move on? Like, there's nothing really there. Like, what if you can only say the same things over and over and over again until the base is just gonna be like, okay, well, I'd rather go watch CNN. I'm gonna fall asleep listening to her. That's what I've seen.
Max, were you a fan of Joy Reid when she was on?
No, I wasn't. Of course, she was obviously to the left, but to the most extreme that you could take it. And so, I know people don't like the term DEI, but she was very inarticulate. You know, she didn't have anything intelligent really to say. Just talking points, like you guys have said, the same ones over and over and over again. I mean, what did she expect? I had seen some weird videos of her like bursting into tears on X over different policies that Republicans have passed and just that kind of stuff. She is a hot mess. She can't even come up with a rational thought. She's just always in her feels, always in her emotions, always peddling, the same top-down talking points. It just got annoying to people. And, it's just, if you don't keep up, you're going to be put out of business. It's really as simple as that.
Fair enough. Funny you guys mentioned about the alphabet community and the things that she says. I have a clip. I think she said something homophobic. Well, Pierce confronts her. Let me play this.
Oh, yeah.
It's Brokeback Mountain.
No.
Okay. I mean,
and what is the point of that?
Well, because you said I don't want to watch the two male characters in Brokeback Mountain having sex.
Okay, so what does me watching Brokeback Mountain have to do with that book, whether or not it is
No,
pornographic?
nothing to do with the book.
That book,
Nothing to do
that
with
is
the
a
book.
book that people can have the opportunity to read if they so choose.
No, I'm
and
not talking
I do
about
not
the book.
understand how an organization
I'm not talking about the
can
book.
make a decision. It is not about the movie. It is about whether or not Moms for Liberty
I'm not talking about the book.
the organization who should make
Joy,
decisions for other
I'm not
people's
talking
children.
about the book, as
Whether
you
I've
know.
watched a movie or not makes absolutely no difference.
I'm
Have you
talking
seen the
about
movie?
you posting on your blog that you wouldn't watch Brokeback Mountain because you don't want to see two male characters having sex. Does that make me homophobic? Probably. Most straight people cringe at the sight of two men kissing. Your words, not mine, Joy.
And your point is?
That maybe that makes you a bit of a hypocrite when you're taking the position of being an ally for the LGBTQ community. And actually, the best way to handle it, I would argue, is just to say, you know what? Actually, I did write that at the time. They're not my views now. I've learned, I've evolved, I've moved on. Trying to pretend even now that you didn't write it is preposterous. And I think you know that.
The bottom line is what I've said, and I will say it again, is that I take full responsibility for everything that was on that site. I'm deeply apologetic for the things that were on that site that hurt people, and I take responsibility for it because it was my site. And that's the end of that. And my views, as you know, and as I've said on television, on air, are quite different from the views that you just read. And that's the end of that.
Wow. She said something offensive against the alphabet people. Like, this is crazy. This is the thing, though. These people die on these hills because they're grifters, and they know when it comes to it affecting them, then they change their position. Come on, what do you think about that?
This probably be one of the things that I agree with Joy Reid with. I ain't trying to watch two men fuck either. Why is it? How does that make you homophobic?
I don't know.
I don't want to see balls slapping. Are you kidding me? No, I didn't watch that movie. Didn't want to watch it when I heard. Okay, this is for a certain audience. You feel me? Like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Is she grifting? I mean, at this point, which politician ain't? One day they're a Republican, the next day they're a Democrat writing a book about how the Republicans ain't shit. Then you had Democrats like Gavin Newsom leaning more right wing than ever. They all grifting. God damn. But yeah, I'm like Joy Reid. Like, hey, who wants to see that, man? Like, you feel me?
So,
like,
let me say this. I have no problem with the LGBT community. The issue I have is that I feel like, personally, for me, the Democrats exploit them, like they do a lot of people of color and different communities. Gray, what do you think about that? I mean, what's your thoughts?
I feel like that basically if you're a part of a party, they feel like you have to agree with every single thing that party's about. I feel like Joy Reid has a right to her opinion. I mean, like, you want to watch what you want to watch on TV, but I feel like just because she's a Democrat, she doesn't necessarily have to watch that on TV.
Wait a minute. Can I ask y'all who has watched the movie? Because somebody in the John asked in the chat who watched it. So Nora, you watched it. Max, you watched it too.
I've seen it. I've never. They don't have any sex scenes in the movie. It's like a love story between two men. Like, and they have to they're like undercut. Like, they're living in secret, and like that's the fact that people had to live in secret before they came out openly as homosexual. That's pretty much the premise of the movie.
Did they French kiss?
Yes, they kiss, but they don't show any scenes, like graphic scenes.
Okay. Nobody else watched it though?
No.
No, I wouldn't. You know, I'll be like Joy Reid. It's not about being homophobic. It's about being honest.
It won a fucking Oscar?
On my cup of tea.
It got nominated. I'm pretty sure.
Wow. I would have never guessed.
I promise you guys, somebody looked at, Mia, tell me your thoughts on what Joy Reid was talking about. I'm going to look it up because I'm pretty sure it won an Oscar.
I mean, I can't believe I'm agreeing with Joy Reid. I'm sorry. Like, this feels like an alternate universe. Like, I've never seen that movie. It's not my cup of tea. I don't like the way
It
Piers.
It won an Oscar. It won Movie of the Year. Sorry, keep going.
Well,
I don't like the way Piers was trying to frame her as any sort of phobic of anything. I feel like people overutilize the word phobic, transphobic, homophobic, this phobic, food phobic, whatever. People just like overuse the word phobic and they use it in the wrong context. So I can be an ally to a gay man without having to watch him have sex. I'm sorry, I draw the line. I could absolutely think that you have a right to live, you have a right to life, liberty, and freedom without having to read about it, see about it, hear about it, anything. I think it's demeaning, it's obscene, and to be honest, nobody should be talking about any sort of exploitation of themselves in any way, shape, or form at all whatsoever. And I don't understand why people think that's a big deal. It doesn't make us transphobic. It doesn't make us homophobic. It just means I don't know. I don't want to hear about or see about or understand what you do in the privacy of your own home. People have no couth or decorum nowadays, and they don't quite use words in the correct context.
Fair enough. Ethan, do you think she's like a hypocrite for backtracking now, or do you think she's just like, she was uncomfortable at the time? What do you think?
No, I think that I don't think she's grifting, right? I mean, maybe there's something that I think some people may overplay or like exaggerate things, but I think at the end of the day, I think she does believe in the things that she says most likely. But ultimately, though, for the comments that she made, she probably at the time, like when gay marriage became legal, right? Because I looked up when these posts were made. These were posts on a blog from like I think like 2008 and 2009, right? And America swapped like overnight when gay marriage was legalized, right? You know, everyone's like, "Oh, you're gay," like, you know, "Ew, you're gross." And now, I mean, there's still a lot of people who are like, "Ew, you're gross," but now it's much more acceptable. And so she probably was just one of those people, like the majority of people that thought being gay was like gross at the time. And then she probably just changed her mind. So no, I don't think it's wrong or like immoral to change your stance. I think she just changed her stance ultimately. And also she
Fair enough.
apologized too.
What did she say? Do you have the tweets up, Ethan? I want to know what she said.
Yeah, so there weren't tweets, but they were something on an old blog that she wrote.
Okay.
Let me find it. Most straight people cringe at the sight of two men kissing. I didn't watch the two male characters in Brokeback Mountain having sex. Does that make me homophobic? Probably. But she's since disavowed these statements.
Dang.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's so Enzo, does that make her homophobic to you?
I mean, I don't realistically think that's making her homophobic. I'm looking at it and seeing what Piers was doing as a taste of the Democrats' own medicine. Because the second that you don't agree with kids transitioning, you're transphobic, and then you don't agree with the LGBT community. It's like the second you just disagree with one little thing, you're labeled as a racist, a homophobe, a transphobe, whatever phobia it is nowadays. And I'm just, like I said, that's the way that I'm looking at it. He's just giving them a taste of their own medicine at the end of the day. And I thought it was practically perfectly fine because obviously he's using it out of context. He's using it the wrong way. The same way that the Democrats have been doing for the last four, or no, not even longer than that, since 2016. You're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe, you're a transphobe. Since then, that's what they've been doing. And it literally has no meaning anymore. So
Mm. Max, your thoughts?
I had muted him. His mic was making
You
noise.
muted
Go
Oh,
ahead, Max.
all right, is
okay.
my mic sounding too bad now?
Yeah, you're good.
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that homophobic is one of those words that gets overused. You know, from my experience, the way that I looked at Joy Reid, I thought that her perfect world would look like one where somebody is indicted for conspiracy to commit heterosexuality, because it's almost like people are. It's almost like people hate this, like they're bigoted towards heterosexuals these days. They're bigoted towards religious folk. They're bigoted more towards conservative folk. And I think that's why her show, started losing popularity, is because there are those people out there that are still preserving those values, and there still are people out there who are not interested in adopting bigoted ideas or ideals, whether against somebody who is gay or somebody who is religious. I just think that people got tired of it, and she didn't have a message of love and of unity and, let's get with the right, let's get with Republicans. She had one of hate and division and polarization. So what you find out is that long term, that really just doesn't work, especially when you take it to the extreme, and she dialed it up as hard as she could.
Wow. That's a nice summary of her, Max. All right, guys, I'm going to play one more clip. This is our big, big, big topic of the year, immigration. Let's hear what she has to say on it. Okay.
Obama deported in 8 years.
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Well, why don't you guess?
I don't know and don't care.
Well,
you
hang
tell
on,
me.
hang on. You don't know and you don't care. You've just given me
because it's not the
you've
issue.
just given. Hang on,
You're trying to make the issue the
hang
southern
on,
border.
Joy. You've
the
just given
point
me
is,
Joy.
Donald, no,
Joy.
no. The point is,
Joy.
Barack
You've just given me
Obama
Joy.
was not dragging
Joy.
women
Joy.
and
Let me finish. You've just
nursing
Joy.
babies apart
Joy.
and
Joy.
taking.
Joy. You've just given me.
You're, I'm sure, going to tell me it's your main issue.
You've just given me
but
a
it's not my main
Joy.
issue.
You've
My
just,
main
Joy.
issue is that what
Joy.
we're seeing.
I'm trying to finish my sentence. You've
Please.
just given me a lengthy monologue attacking Donald Trump's aggressive deportation policy. And I've simply said to you, there was a Democrat, a black Democrat president of the United States for 8 years. I'm simply asking, given that you're obviously all over every detail of the Trump deportation policy, and given you were on the airwaves in America on a daily basis through Obama's tenure, how many people did he deport in 8 years?
I do not know. You'll tell me. I'm sure.
Have a guess.
But it's probably more than 1 million people. I'm quite certain.
Have a
because
guess.
I think each 2 million.
Right, it was 3 million.
Okay. And your point being what?
My point
What's
being,
the point?
are you as shocked by that as you are claiming to be by Trump?
It is not deportations
Many of them were
themselves that are
brown.
shocking. Wait a minute. Can I answer
in
your
fact,
question?
the majority were brown.
Man, that's a fact that not many people know. Did y'all know the number one deporter out of all the presidents was Obama? Ethan, did you know that? Why don't people have the smoke for Obama then?
Yeah, Obama was called the deporter in chief. So we got, I think, two things at play here. First is I think that people today are now more, I guess, I don't want to use the term like, I'll just like use the simple term like woke, aware of like the injustices, I guess you could call, to minority figures, including like immigrants. And some people will say that they shouldn't be deported, even though they're here illegally. But I think there's arguments for and against, like amnesty, for example. So I think today people are more aware of like the deportations and stuff going on, obviously. But two, we have to look at who was getting deported, right? And to my knowledge, I might be wrong on this one, but I don't think Obama was like mass raiding farms and like mass raiding people's places and like, revoking people's visas, right? I don't think that was happening under Obama. To what extent the deportations were happening to whatever types of people, I would argue more than likely it's going to be more justified, like more valid from a left person's standpoint under Obama than what's going on with Trump, where we have, alligator Alcatraz, kids getting thrown in there, right? That's my take on it.
So my question then is, how was he rounding up the people then? If he wasn't doing the things that Trump was doing, how was he rounding them up? He had to have been doing. I mean, it doesn't make sense. I just think that the media wasn't highlighting it. Gray, do you have a response to that? What's your thoughts
on why Obama's didn't get talked about the way Trump is? Presentation.
Yeah.
Trump is literally making it a reality TV show. He had Chrissy Nome with a cowboy hat on. He had Dr. Phil up there, and they were recording it, and they record stuff, and they put things on the lawn. It's presentation. So, like, Obama wasn't presenting this and saying, oh, we're going after all these people. Obama was just following law and, just going business as usual.
Wow. Mia, what's your thoughts? Why is all the smoke on Trump?
I think a lot of it just comes down to the fact that Trump is a polarizing figure. So whatever he does, people are just going to gobble up. Regardless, he is an extremely polarizing figure. He can be very loud. He can be very obnoxious. We know he has those little Twitter fingers in the 2 a.m. I mean, he just is like so entertaining. People cannot help but tune in. I mean, at the end of the day, Obama was the great deporter in chief. 3 million people over 8 years is over 1,000 people a day, if not more. So, I mean, that's a lot of people. And then if you go on the ACLU, they actually have really good articles back from like 2016. So the Obama administration used a Clinton era rule that almost 70% of those people didn't even see a judge, because Clinton back in like 1994, to kind of curb the immigration, or 1997, they came up with a rule to fast track people out. So a lot of people don't really do the research. So if you really think about it, Obama did some pretty greasy people. He ejected 3 million people. The majority of them were black and brown, and the majority of them never saw a judge. But nobody ever talks about it because, in general, people like Obama. He's clean cut, he's articulate, and he's black. And he fit the bill for what we needed at the time. And I feel like that's a lot of the reason why people don't really talk about him the way they do Trump.
Enzo, what's your thoughts? Why does Obama not get any smoke?
I mean, I could look at it a couple different ways. We could talk about like the infancy of social media presence back then. You didn't really have many figures on social media and recording it and posting this all over. Nowadays, you have everybody with an iPhone who's out there recording every single little bit. And like what Gray said, yeah, Trump's out there posting everything, showing a different side of what an administration is. Like, yes, I do attribute politics the last 8 years really to Trump polarizing everything, putting everything out there because in my eyes, I'm seeing transparency that they're showing that they're actually doing something about the immigration that's going on in this country that ran rampant for the last 4 years under Sleepy Joe Biden. I see no problem with what Donald Trump is doing compared to what Obama was doing because with those 3 million people that he deported, like Mia said, 75% of them were done without quote unquote due process. But we're over here bitching about due process for one singular man that's the only person that people can bring up that wasn't given due process was Mr. Kilmer Abrego Garcia. These people shouldn't be in this country at the end of the day. They came here illegally. So bypassing due process and using expedited removal, which every president has done since 96, but only call Orange Man bad because he did it less than every other president before him, is just crazy. It is stupid. And I'm just so sick and tired of hearing it, to be honest with you.
Can I say something before you guys move on? I found this on the ACLU. So the case is RILR versus Johnson. It's back from 2014. The American Civil Liberties Union today filed a nationwide class action lawsuit challenging the Obama administration's policy of locking up asylum-seeking mothers and children to intimidate others from coming to this United States. So literally the ACLU filed class action lawsuits against Obama's administration, but people don't talk about it.
Is those cages started under Obama. Trump just got the smoke.
Right. And that's what I'm saying, and like, absolutely. And what's so crazy is people keep like upholding how Obama did it. And I see it all online. Well, Obama did it legally. No, he didn't. He threw out more black and brown people. He was literally throwing mothers and babies, nursing mothers and babies, to quote Joy Reid, into cages. He built those cages. Multiple class action lawsuits have been filed for the ACLU. It's crazy to me because I guess it's because we're older. We're in our mid 30s. So we remember 20 years ago. But so many young people are super disingenuous when it comes to Obama and what the Democrats did for all those years.
Well, I mean, it's not just young people, it's people in their 50s. Kamal, what's your thoughts about the cages and all that with Obama? Why does he not get any smoke?
Man, let's be real, man. Obama was a smooth, sneaky motherfucker, wasn't he? God damn.
Yeah.
He was smooth, sneaky, talk well. He'll just make you be like, damn, this motherfucker could turn water into wine. Then you found out, no, it's still water. This motherfucker on the bullshit. And I said on my other show, you feel me, that man, Obama was like the Michael Jordan of deporting motherfuckers.
I'm Donald Trump, and I
Yeah.
approve this message.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
I'm saying, like, he was like
Oh, you played that?
LeBron James. The LeBron James of deporting motherfuckers. You feel me? Like 3 milli. You feel me? But I will say this: Donald Trump does put it out there more. And what Enzo said, look, at social media wasn't popping like that in 08. Hell, YouTube started in 05. Think
Right.
about it, right? Social media really didn't start getting popping until Obama kind of got all out of office, to be honest. So we ain't gonna know much about, you know what I mean, bro, especially if he's sneaky and smooth. You know what I mean?
I do agree. He is sneaky, and he was sneaky and smooth, man. You know, when I saw Obama's true colors, y'all, remember that situation with the water in Flint, Michigan? I'll never
Oh,
forget when he sat in those black people's face and
black it.
they was like, "What are you going to do to help us?" Well, the water looks fine to me. That was when I realized he was full of shit. That was the moment
Yeah.
I realized it, and I regretted voting for him. I mean, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. That was the moment I was like, this guy's full of shit. He does not care about anyone. Max, you're the
Oh
youngest
no,
cowboy on the call.
Yeah.
I
So
actually have one more thing I wanted to say though. Why like Donald Trump is more, you know, like we're looking at him being the person deporting people because he's funny with it. He talk about deporting Elon Musk, Rosie O'Donnell. He out here like, oh, you want to grill me? I'm gonna deport your ass too. I'm like, come on now.
Yeah.
So it's in our face, and he kind of comical with it. We gravitate towards comedy at times. You feel me? So
right. Yeah, I mean, a few things here. I know that the DOJ came out with some denaturalization memos because they are going through denaturalizing some criminals that came, legally and then were naturalized. That's a totally good thing. But when it comes to like people who are naturally born in the United States, like Rosie O'Donnell, everybody and their mom knows that you can't actually denaturalize those people. That's what makes it a good joke, because you have to be stupid to believe that it's true. And then secondly, everybody who allowed the invasion that came into this country under Biden should be dressed like me and behind bars. They should be in a cage of their own, so to speak. And if you're of the party where there's a woman politician who cooks her collard greens in her bathtub, you got a big problem. So there's that too. And I want to thank Bernie Sanders, because he's like the only rational person that seems to be caucusing with the Democrats who understands that we need a secure border. Now I'm seeing enforcement operations happening in Sacramento. They actually caught a guy who had an aggravated felony. He was possessing fentanyl with the intent to distribute, and they caught 8 other criminals as well. And so to say that we shouldn't be doing these targeted enforcement operations, like everything that you're seeing on these farms or on these properties, these aren't raids. Like ICE isn't just like going around and raiding every little thing that they see. What's happening is they have a list of specific locations to tend to, specific people to find, specific workplaces, and that's where they're going into. They're doing this in a strategic fashion, and I just don't like hearing how the media is using inflammatory language to demonize it.
Fair enough. Well, guys, we're gonna wrap up and close out
Oh,
by playing
I-
some. Oh,
I got a
who
question
said
for
no?
y'all.
Sure.
That was me. Did y'all hear? I don't know if the story broke today or yesterday, but they're gonna start using Medicaid, like the data from Medicaid, to see who is like a legal immigrant and start getting their addresses and shit. Did y'all hear about
No, I
that?
didn't hear that.
I heard
Ethan, did
about
you hear
that.
about
Okay,
that?
Gray heard it.
I heard
Yeah.
about
I
it.
did.
Yeah,
Have
it's
you heard
breaking news.
Okay. Yeah. Did y'all want to talk about that, or y'all want to like save it for
Yeah,
another
we
time?
can have that be the last thing. But I was gonna have Ethan talk about the Unfuck America tour as well as the last thing. So go ahead and tell us about it, Kamal.
So I saw it today. I don't know if it was yesterday that it broke yesterday, but what I saw today is that they're going to start using Medicaid records to find out who are illegal immigrants, and then they go to their homes and shit because they have their address and information and stuff. So this kind of debunks the whole thing that they said that illegal immigrants wasn't getting resources. It debunks that shit.
It's a good point. That's a good.
Yeah.
We might got to make a story about that next week. That's a good point. I gotta use the fingers. That's a good point. Uh,
So
Ethan, you wanna respond to that? I mean, that's a good point.
About illegal immigrants using Medicaid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, when we look at the usage of Medicaid by illegal immigrants, what we want to do is we want to weigh, are they a net drain on the system or are they a net boon? And the answer is unquestionably they are a net boon in every single way that we could manifest, right? Economically, they're a work boon because the increased labor, it's cheap and it allows Americans to make cheaper products, and cheaper products are good. We like that. And when it comes to the input on our taxes, they have to use forged, or not forged, but stolen social security numbers because they obviously don't have a social security number of their own. Do some of them take something like Medicaid in an event of like them getting hurt? Yes, but this is super rare versus the majority of them are contributing to the taxes through their fake social security number. So do some of them take it? Yes. Is that a bad thing? Yeah, it's probably a bad thing, but unquestionably, the overall result is a good thing.
Ethan, I'll tell you this though. You right about them getting low wages. Shit, they'll work for $2.25 on the fucking hour.
Yeah, I know. It's